What's up, boys? Today we're going to be throwing an insane amount of saw blades at the zombies. So the main thing we're building around here is bear trap spawns a saw blade drone circling around the trap. We're going to try and stack ability cooldown on the huntress, and we're going to take her first in order to try and get any stats for that early on. So for the badges, we're going for both of the ability based things, get some area, some cooldown, a lot of slashing damage and tags for it, and then some nice survivability here. And then we're going to hopefully get the tank fairly early on to get the saw blades going. For the huntress, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab her arrow rain evolution first, since that seems to have the best AoE. Let's have auto aim on here. Since I don't really care what I'm hitting right now, it's kind of nice to have when you have some weapons with crowd control with very fast electric attacks or freezing, so you can aim where those go, but I don't think I really care right now. The arrow rain that causes it to shoot multiple waves based on your ability duration. In the early game can easily clear out multiple zombies, and it's several volleys every time, even when you don't have a ton of duration yet. So I'm always looking to get that one first, I think, just to get the early game going. And then other than those two, I think it's just the medic, since it feels like there's a bit too much unavoidable damage, so you have to get some good defenses to actually really play the game. Here we go, 250 damage, 16-second cooldown. Not too bad. Some of the abilities have a very long cooldown at level 1, so that'll help out a lot. Here we'll take the bear trap since we need that for the builds. More arrow rain. Level 5, we can now get the evolution for that. So we're looking for the other one. We don't want to fire a single one. Take the bear trap up to level 5. Nope, we'll take some decoy here. Oh yeah, I'd really like to get the ban hammer thing pretty early if we can. We can banish that. I don't mind the compass. Damage, area, duration, scaling with movement speed. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it for this one, since I don't think duration will do a whole lot. It will help me a lot in the early game with the arrow rain once we get that. Let's get probably some attack speed here for the eventual solar panel, which is the item that reduces ability cooldowns based on that. Okay, well, medic first it looks like. But it just seems like the ability area stat has extremely harsh diminishing returns. So it's pretty hard to get a whole lot of that after a certain point. And then duration won't really do anything for the traps and the saw blades that we're trying to build around. Arrows, yeah, I don't think fire does anything. May as well take that for a little bit of extra freezing. That'll actually pair decently with the medic stuff, so here we go, multiple, +1 for every 10% duration, And we currently have 44%, so that's 5 times as many arrows already. That'll be a fantastic boost to helping us get through the kind of slow early game. Let's grab some stim back here. Love the buffs on that one. Extra movement speed is always nice. And I guess it does synergize with the only item we have right now. Let's grab the medical drone there. That'll give a little bit of ability damage, and we can eventually evolve it into the defensive one, which gives some nice regen and a damage shield every once in a while. Decoys getting pretty high up there now. Level 5. It actually fires quite a few frost arrows with the number of traps we have now. Ooh, early banhammer, yes. One of the most important items in the game, so we can start banishing stuff. Just get rid of attack speed even though it's kind of nice, and then take the legendary armor. Moving. I think we want the other one for the chemical. We'll get a decent amount of that just from leveling some of the medic stuff, and then that'll give us some extra damage over time and slowing. And since we have the banhammer, we can just do that for free, and then I'm gonna take that for some extra freezing now. Experiments. Here we go. Toxic emits a chemical cloud around it before explosion. Yep. Here's the tank. And then as soon as we get the saw blade for him, we should start seeing those around the traps. Haven't actually... Wait, oh, it's already out there, even without the upgrade for it. Okay, sick. We'll take some more experiment then. So it looks like just one saw blade on each of them. I was hoping for more than that, but we will go ahead and grab some levels on it as well. More experiments. And then we'll go ice only, since ice is the stronger effect, and if you can get up to 10 or more tags, then you have a chance to instantly kill anything, including bosses. So I wanted to try the second evolution for the SAWBLADES here that adds an extra orbit but keeps it as only slashing damage. Normally I go the freezing plus fire one just for a bit of extra crowd control, but I really hope that at least works on the trap versions of it as well. Minefield does have a slashing evolution as well, so that'll be kind of useful. So hopefully the doubling effect works on the traps as well. I'm kind of worried since there's only one of them around them currently. Weapon cooldown. That would be okay on Huntress. Let's banish XP. That'll give us more freezing and solar panel triggers once we get that, so I think that's okay at rare. Then we can freely banish anything. So we have military training and ability cooldown. I like getting some of the military training stuff so we get more stats throughout the run, so let's lock that and then grab that pretty early as well. And get a lot of value out of that. Sawblade, yep. You could actually have a kind of interesting cross-caster build doing this with the enchantment for the Sawblades. Then your traps would be shooting out freezing Sawblades and freezing arrows at the same time. So that's one I always go. We want to try out the full slashing that doubles it this time. Let's grab some more of that. Take some more minefields here. Level 5 for the drone. Here we go. An additional row of Sawblades circling counterclockwise, excuse me, and the count goes up as well. So that should be 12 on us. And then what do the traps do? No, there's only one? That does nothing? Why? I guess it's like a completely separate thing from the ability itself. Let's probably grab movements or crit damage. We can probably banish that and look for the item that gives a decent amount of area. That gives area, damage, and duration. I'll grab a bit of that. Oh, we don't even need to. We can just take that now for the extra shield every 30 seconds. So yeah, I guess since the Sawblades were out before we even had the ability, the synergies are like a completely separate effect then. Let's grab the minefield here. More stim pack. It's still a lot of saws around me. I was just hoping the traps would just completely shred them and apply a ton of bleeds. That's ready for evolution now. You know, the taunt evolution, that's actually extremely useful, but slashing kind of fits the build here, so I'm gonna try that one this time. Here we go. Fragmentation mines that deal additional slashing damage, +1 counts, sure. I might want that for the item that gives crit chance to everything and everyone on the team. That'll help us get a decent amount of weapon crit to go with the solar panel eventually, hopefully. Banish that, don't care about any of these, so we get a free banish every time. Ooh, I do like that. The bleeding effect is actually pretty powerful. It's a percentage damage. And then with a lot of tags, it can do 5 times that damage. And then with ticking twice as fast, that's just twice as much damage for it. Plus you're more likely to apply it with the extra 2 tags, and you get a little bit of damage, 161% in the bottom right. Let's grab, I guess, the other ability here. Even more stuff to rain from the sky and destroy everything. So I think we want this on all of them. It's around a 50% uptime, and since we are going for a lot of cooldown reduction, should be 100% eventually. Seems like we can actually just sit here against the trash mobs right now. Relaxing middle game now. Banish Burning. I should probably grab that as a lockdown. I'll take this solar panel for more abilities. Can definitely banish weapon crit damage, and then that'll give area with one of the items, but we don't have that yet. Put that on the tank since we're trying to scale up his SAWBLADES as much as possible. But we're looking for cooldown to put on the Huntress so we can get more of the traps that proc a bunch of other effects. So I've tried builds based around both of these and they were both extremely bad. So I think we may as well take this just to get one more chemical tag to increase those effects a little bit. I don't think we're getting anything else electric based, so the tag for that probably won't do a whole lot. Stim pack up to level 4. Let's get some bow to get some more freezing tags. I guess that bombing strike actually isn't bad at applying the chemical effect itself also. Seems to be a lot more purple zombies now. I don't really like Gaslighter because it's just raw damage. I like the items that give you like more ability casts and stuff, scaling with other stats, where you can get like huge ability areas, stuff like that. Okay, 100 armor for its duration, fantastic. But it's just so much damage. Let's banish, health regen, cooldown. We could take that for more panel triggers and more freezing. But I'd like to banish that as well at some point if it'll stop giving me rare stuff. Or rather, if it'll give me like some decent rares like ability cooldown, since we have the military training thing guaranteeing 2 at rare anyways. Multi-shot, we need that for the freezing arrows. see, every 3, so that would be 5, 15, and 10 for the more interesting stats. I think we can do a lot better later on, but that's fine for now. Grab a little bit of penetration so the freezing arrows will hit more enemies. We might actually want to banish some of the ability damage stuff at some point. Let's banish that and grab the health, since that will eventually give crit for everything and everyone. Freezing arrows, there we go. Try and get that cooldown a bit lower, and also some extra arrows at some levels, I think. Banish Toxified, and then here's the HP to crits. What do we want to replace first? These are actually almost all really good. I guess we'll go here on the Sapphire Gem. And then I'll probably need to find something to replace to get the huge area based on pickup radius, so we can have really big SAWBLADES and all. Let's probably finish that one next to go with all of the freezing arrows. Movement pickup. Let's banish that finally. That does a bunch of different stats. Let's go here if they're both the same rarity. Let me take a look at the items again. We can eventually replace the banhammer. I think I like everything else. That's the most boring, but it's just so much damage, I don't think I can pass that up. I actually could have taken the electric bomb to get another stack of that. That actually probably would have been a bit better. So I guess what we're going to do is pass on the pickup radius thing, and then we'll scale up area a bit through this, and because the diminishing returns on it are so harsh, I think we actually won't end up with that much less anyways. I think once you get to around like 150% total area, the diminishing returns are already around 80 to 90%, which is just insane, so probably shouldn't be too hard to get to that point anyways. We want the barbed shot, I think, to make the kinetic status have a bit higher uptime, so we'll banish that. Start grabbing some handgun. Yeah, after playing a few caster builds and trying to get a lot of ability radius, I don't think you actually want both of the items that give you other stats into it. So we can banish that, and then I don't think we really need to look too hard into items now. The other one is the one that gives you, I think, half of your extra pickup radius as ability area. And together they just have such harsh diminishing returns, I doubt it would be worth it. Let me see if I can show that off. We're at 167, which gives us 147. Once this number gets to around 160 or so, it seems like you get extremely bad returns on it. So here's the barbed, guarantees injured. Ability damage movements. So we can banish pickup since we're not going for that. And then let's go that because it's more fun. And then eventually I'm trying to trim it down enough that ability cooldown always shows up as an option there, so that we can stack a ton of that on the Huntress, so that her traps just keep constantly coming out and proccing our other abilities, the freezing arrows and SAWBLADES around them. That's for the medic, don't care too much for that. Need to get the syringe to get the freezing blasts eventually. And it will stack up a lot of chemical tags as well for the decoys and the bombing strike. I don't think we really need it to last twice as long since we're going to be applying it through so many means. The +4 to the damage tag is alright. You can apply it more often, and it has a higher chance for the double damage, but I don't think that's necessary. I can probably banish that. It doesn't really work on my main abilities here, although it was helpful early on. But we'll be getting a bit of that from the compass. Then we do have plenty of rerolls, so I think I'm actually going to start trying to fish for some cooldown like that. Is pretty nice. We can probably banish that and then just get a bit more through health, and that'll also improve the weapon stuff as well. Toss that on the Huntress for more traps to trigger our other abilities. And then now we kind of have some SAWBLADE scaling with ability cooldown, although it is just one on each of the traps. Freezing Flasks. Banish any of these, I suppose. That's probably the worst, and then I don't think I want any of those. If you've tried out the other SAWBLADE evolution with the traps triggering that, I'd love to know whether or not that one works. I doubt it does, since it seems like they're completely separate effects. But since this one doesn't do anything at all, that actually would be a pretty nice boost if it does work. You could trigger a lot more freezing on them, potentially. Let's banish armor and grab the ability cooldown on the Huntress. The funny part is that the cooldown stats actually don't have that harsh of diminishing returns, even though it seems like the system was added for cooldown and dodge, since if those ever got to 100%, that would just break the game. But even into like the 60%, it's actually still pretty good scaling. guess what we could do actually with the military training item I have is go down to only 2 stats available, and then every single time I'll have rare ability cooldown. Never actually tried going that hard onto it. But it's also getting extremely hard to move towards the military trainings now. So let's banish that, even though it's useful. Probably grab some dual crit with this to pump up the solar panel. And also survivability on top of that, of course. So minigun is great for triggering the solar panel, very high attack speed and magazine size. Oh, actually I should have manual aim on so that we can aim the freezing attacks and get some crowd control going where I want to move. And then that'll help make the path safer for me. Even though it's not our main damage here. Banish dodge. Probably go for the crits here. That's the item I was talking about that gives a lot of area based on pickup range. But the ability area stat just has such harsh diminishing returns. I don't think you need that on top of the compass. It would be fun if they both worked and weren't terrible together, but that is definitely not the case. Oh yeah, I do need to be thinking about what item I would want to replace the banhammer at some point. We're actually almost done with that, I think. Maybe I'll try the healing thing. I think it reduces your... well, no. I was thinking since we had so much HP, I could absorb the 50% HP reduction and then it would give a ton of healing. But that would actually reduce our crit as well, so never mind to that. I'll have to think of something else that would go well here. Finish that. I wonder which of those is better. You probably only want one of them since they don't really seem to combine together. I think if we're trying to push the ability cooldown as much as possible, this will probably give me more overall. But if you have like 3 different stats that you really want to stack, then I think the other one might be a bit better. Man, we still have so many stats available. Let's get some more crits, I think. Let's have the collect all XP and health packs on the map so we don't lose a ton of HP, especially since we're getting crit off of that. So it wouldn't really even increase our damage very much anyways. I guess healthier? Yeah. Mod chip could maybe work. We can banish that. Extra cooldown and attack speed. The medic and huntress are good with cooldown, and then attack speed is of course good on everyone. I don't want it yet, but I might take it later on. Once we banish some more military training stuff. And then that'll help us with applying freezing effects and also triggering the solar panel. Man, I wish the Hoarder evolution picks up military training as well, because it's literally impossible to move anywhere. I'm just trying to get the military training over there, but I'm actually getting further and further away just dodging stuff. I guess crit here. It's impossible for me to get to the military training. Okay, we're down to 3, so we'll banish one more, and then I can get rid of the banhammer. What do I want to do here? We've probably gotten enough health now, so I'll do this, and then re-roll into the rare cooldown. Huh. There's only one rare. That is strange. Put that on the Huntress, and then how are we doing on her? 59.3% brings the traps down to a 6.1 second cooldown. 4-second cooldown on the arrow rain, and 8.1 on the zombie decoys. And then with the military training, the other ones also get half of that. Although I don't think they really scale with cooldown much. We have the freezing explosive thing on the medic, and the bombing strike on the tank, which is pretty bad. It's really low damage at least. I guess it's okay at applying effects. So let's banish that. And I guess we go mod chip onto the banhammer now. Ability cooldown, Huntress. The infinite upgrades don't have that 50% spread, but that's the main one we want anyways. Yeah, I just can't move anywhere. Even with manually aiming all these freezes, just does nothing. There's too many zombies. Yeah, I think we're fine for now. If I see anything that I really like, we could probably replace the mod ship. But this seems like a pretty decent setup. Crit chance is okay damage-wise. Although I guess it should be better on the tank, actually, since we're trying to trigger all of his stuff. What? 2 of them are now of at least rare quality. That is not rare quality. Let's get the cooldown on the Hunter. So we're at 60.6, that's 20%. So we gained 4.4%. But at the amount we're at, it's almost 3 times as effective as that. So we're still getting over half of the value from that, even with diminishing returns at that point. Because of how cooldown reduction works. There's nowhere to move anymore. I'm shooting them as they're coming in for the freezes, but it's not really making a difference. Guess some armor, since we can't really avoid everything now. Crit chance for the tank, yes. We're triggering his SAWBLADES. Bit more armor. Cooldown on the Huntress, yes. Duration doesn't really do much on him. Damage is decent. I don't think I care. There's nowhere to go. I'm just completely surrounded. Well, that collects everything for us at least. I think attack speed for more triggers on the solar panel. I can't pick up anything anymore. It's just completely walled off. I don't know, it just doesn't feel good when you can't actually make any meaningful decisions. Because literally every path is just swarmed by zombies. It's fun when you can like actually make choices on where to dodge and stuff, but I may as well not even be controlling my character anymore. Armor. Cooldown, yep. Legendary movements and a common ability cooldown, of course. Ability crits, yeah, that's decent, I guess. Cooldown, actually ability crit on him is good. 100%, every 5th health pack restores 100%. That's actually kind of nice. With the resuscitation evolution, that would probably heal you to full every time. I'd probably have to replace that. 40.5 cooldown and 16% attack speed. Well, we're getting close to the end. I can maybe replace that. I don't think anything else, really. Whatever, we'll just finish it out with what we have here. Maximum damage. Cooldowns are at 66.9, 70.2, so a bit over 3%. So that's still around 10% reduced off of the current amount, I think, which is not bad at all. Random revive, since I'm just completely surrounded. Attack speed's pretty good on him, actually. The minigun attacks very fast. I think this is the end. There is nowhere to go, yeah. So we had 78 million on the arrow rain, 115 on the bear trap is not bad. 41 on the freezing arrows. How did the SAWBLADES do? 119, 88 on the slashing minefield. 35 on the bombing strike. Pretty good for that. We had almost 240 million on the bleeding effects, with the bleeding edge buffing that up a ton. I think both of the main abilities, the SAWBLADES and the bear trap, were slashing, so that should have been up on basically everything. We had a fair amount of freezing there, 37 million on that, a little bit of chemical for 8 million there. 84 million on the kinetic, but that's buffing other things, 58% damage received. Medic had 6 million on the experiment, 8.6 on the freezing flasks. We could have taken the electric bomb to buff that up a little bit more. We would have lost the death explosion, 150% bigger on chemical. I'm not sure if that would be worth it. That does improve the slowing a little bit. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.